The history of the conflict between Palestine and Israel is a multifaceted narrative that has endured for over a century. It is a struggle marked by territorial disputes, cultural and religious divisions, and political complexities. This report aims to provide a brief overview of the historical events and key turning points that have shaped the ongoing conflict between these two entities. The history of Palestine and Israel is a story of complex origins and deep-rooted tensions dating back thousands of years. This region has seen the rise and fall of empires, the movement of diverse peoples, and the rich tapestry of cultures. The land known today as Israel and Palestine was home to ancient civilizations, including Canaanites, Philistines, Israelites, and more. It holds immense historical and religious significance to Jews, Christians, and Muslims. In 63 BCE, the Roman Empire conquered the area, leading to the displacement of Jewish communities after the destruction of the Second Temple. In 70 CE, from the 7th century, the region came under Arab-Muslim rule, marking the beginning of Islam's connection to the land. The 20th century brought significant changes with British rule, Jewish immigration, and the Balfour Declaration 1917, which endorsed a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. In 1947, the United Nations approved a partition plan, leading to the establishment of Israel in 1948 and the Arab-Israeli War. Since then, the region has experienced numerous conflicts, wars, and efforts to find a peaceful resolution, with both Israelis and Palestinians asserting their rights to the land. The Balfour Declaration, a landmark in history, was issued on November 2, 1917, by Arthur Balfour, the British Foreign Secretary. This historic letter expressed support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This declaration was a product of its time, influenced by the events of World War I and the British Empire's strategic interests. It marked a turning point in the Zionist movement and had a profound impact on the future of the Middle East. Over a century later, the Balfour Declaration's legacy continues to shape the complex dynamics of the region. It's a testament to the enduring quest for self-determination, coexistence, and peace. After the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, the League of Nations granted Britain the mandate to oversee Palestine. The intent was to prepare the land for self-rule, but it was anything but straightforward. The infamous Balfour Declaration expressed British support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, while recognizing the rights of the existing Arab population, a document that shaped decades of conflict. The British administration brought modernization and development to Palestine, transforming the landscape with new roads, schools, and government institutions, yet it also sowed the seeds of discord. The Arab-Jewish tensions heightened as Jewish immigration surged. Competing national identities and interests fueled clashes and protests. Throughout the Mandate years, the Mandate ended in 1948, with the declaration of the State of Israel, sparking a series of Arab-Israeli wars and shaping the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East.
At Flushing, Long Island, the General Assembly of the United Nations has made its decision on Palestine. The map shows what partition means. The Jewish state colored light, the Arab state dark, Jaffa to go to the Arabs, Jerusalem internationalized. There was heated debate in the Assembly. This is the delegate from Saudi Arabia arguing against partition.
In 1947, the United Nations proposed a partition plan to divide Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem under international administration. While the Jewish leadership accepted the plan, the Arab leadership rejected it, leading to the First Arab-Israeli War in 1948.
The world Jewry that we
On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion proclaimed the establishment of the State of Israel. This declaration led to immediate conflict with neighboring Arab states, resulting in a war that ended in 1949 with armistice agreements.
In 3 countries.
The State of Israel was established in 1948, leading to immediate tensions with neighboring Arab countries who rejected its existence. A conflict between Egypt, the United Kingdom, France, and Israel over control of the Suez Canal, reflecting regional power struggles. A pivotal moment when Israel captured territories from Egypt, Jordan, and Syria, including the West Bank, Gaza Strip, and Golan Heights. Egypt and Syria launched a surprise attack on Israel, resulting in a ceasefire and negotiations. Multiple peace efforts, including the Camp David Accords 1978 and Oslo Accords 1993, aimed at resolving the conflict but have faced challenges. In 1993, the Oslo Accords were signed, marking a hopeful step towards resolving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Today, with all our hearts and all our souls, we bid them shalom, salam, peace.
We who have fought against you, the Palestinians, we say to you today, in a loud and a clear voice, enough of blood and tears. Enough!
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
This agreement, negotiated in secret, brought together Israeli and Palestinian leaders to seek a peaceful coexistence. The Accords established a framework for the Palestinians to achieve self-governance and outlined a plan for a two-state solution. Over the years, the process faced challenges and setbacks, but it remains an essential part of the ongoing quest for peace in the region. The Second Intifada, also known as the Al-Aqsa Intifada, was a pivotal chapter in the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It began in September 2000, triggered by Ariel Sharon's controversial visit to the Temple Mount. Over the next 5 years, the Palestinian territories saw a surge of protests, violence, and a complex struggle for self-determination. During this turbulent period, countless individuals on both sides endured immense hardship, and it's essential to reflect on the impact of this conflict on people's lives. The Second Intifada saw suicide bombings, military operations, and extensive casualties, leaving scars that still influence the region today. While the conflict remains unresolved, let us remember the courage of those who stood up for their rights, and the countless innocent lives affected. The conflict remains unresolved with issues such as borders, the status of Jerusalem, the right of return for Palestinian refugees, and the establishment of an independent Palestinian state, continuing to be major points of contention. The history of the Palestine-Israel conflict is a complex tale of competing nationalisms, religious attachments, and geopolitical interests. It has left a legacy of pain and suffering for both Palestinians and Israelis. Despite numerous attempts at peace, the path to a lasting resolution remains elusive, making this conflict one of the most enduring and challenging issues in the modern world.